Breaking news. It's Star Wars Ultimate Unlimited, and the day has finally come where Boba Fett is banned. Not eroded, not changed, banned. Banned outright. Had this message on Discord before, and someone sent me that Boba was banned, and I'm like, what? What's going on here? So rush home and find out that there's a huge explanation on why Boba Fett was banned. Usually with ban lists, restricted lists and stuff like that, they just will kind of toss it on there, and, players can kind of determine which ones are the reasons why they're banned and not banned in this case, or restricted. This is just outright banned, which is just absolutely floors me. It's at least in my opinion on my previous video, not the best case scenario for the card, but this means that maybe there are, besides the 4/7 stat line, the ability, maybe the deploy cost too, maybe there's something else in this set that has something to do with it as well that made it just virtually broken beyond belief, even though it was pretty much overtuned as is. But still, let's go read this verbatim. If you haven't read it, we'll have a link in the description below. I'm just going to do a couple of side pieces here and there during this article here. Effective November 8th, 2024, Boba Fett collecting the bounty is suspended from Premiere. Now, it's really cool how they use the word suspended. They don't outright ban it. It's suspended. It's like, I like that word. I don't know why, but I like that word a lot. Of course, it explains what a suspended card is. It's not legal to play in any events in that format as long as it remains on the suspended list. This includes both competitive and casual tier organized play events. Our team will have regular check-ins, at least one per set, in which we'll update the community about our thoughts on the competitive metagame and an evaluation on whether cards should be added or removed from the suspended list. So, and of course it says it's a major decision. We all know you have lots of questions, and of course this huge article tells you what exactly the reasonings were for this card to be suspended in this case. So it says here, in the first set of planetary qualifiers, Boba Fett decks represented around 40% of top 8 finishers and more than 55% of winners. I think in Hearthstone, if you compare this to Hearthstone, I believe they want decks to be like a 50-50, but there are some that go beyond 50, and this is one of them. It's like 55%, which is like absolutely nuts. The article also goes on saying that there is some chance that removing support pieces instead of the Boba Fett leader could have allowed versions of his deck to exist in a balanced state. But the plan that would require suspending multiple cards and a real possibility that we'd need to suspend more cards as time goes on to keep Boba Fett archetype balanced. We already see evidence that Boba Fett is adaptable and powerful enough to lead multiple archetypes to competitive success. All 4 base colors were represented among the planetary qualifier top 8s. The fact that Boba Fett was already a top archetype in Spark before the printing of Boba Fett's armor also lends credence to the fact that Boba Fett himself is the major issue. Attempting to remove cards around him would carry serious risk of Boba Fett decks continuing to be top tier and push out other options. So for those people who don't necessarily know the whole entire backstory behind Boba Fett, basically it was a development error, and he somehow snuck around the side building and got in. And on here, if you guys don't know, Fantasy Flight does say on here, the Boba Fett leader was a development mistake. There was a significant debate on the Boba Fett leader late in development process, given the uniquely high stats relative to his deploy cost. Ultimately, the decision won out to take the risk of keeping him strong, given how we haven't seen evidence of him being overpowered in our testing up to that point. We knew pushing the limits in terms of numbers, but felt that he could be strong but balanced relative to the other leaders. Clearly, this was incorrect in retrospect. Other leaders were also pushing limits in various ways. Sabine Wren and Emperor Palpatine at the extremes of the cost curve. Hera breaking aspect limitations, and even IG-88 pushing the amount of damage of a 5 deploy leader could put into play. And Boba Fett ended up being the one that we pushed too much. Later on in the article, it does state that in implementing this Boba Fett leader suspension, we are well aware of other powerful cards and decks putting pressure on the metagame right now. For instance, Sabine Wren and Energy Conversion Lab. Based upon our internal discussions and playtesting, we expect these decks to be strong but fair in the new metagame after Twilight's release. If these aggressive archetypes rise to the top, we're confident the player base has the tools to target them effectively. There have already been a number of strong decks which can be turned to have good matchups against aggressive strategies. We also expect to see significant metagame shakeups with the release of the upcoming set like Jump to Lightspeed and Legends of the Force. But, of course, we will continue to monitor the metagame to see if it matches our expectations. It's a very long read, it's a very nice article, it's very good, and it's a lot of fun to read and get the, to pick the brains of the development team behind this really awesome card game. Yet, in fact, I do agree with their assessment on the character being banned, or the leader in this case being banned. Instead of banning multiple cards and getting rid of that, they decided to get rid of the problem at hand. It's not necessarily the, in my opinion, the greatest option, but maybe in the future sometime there will be, maybe he'll come back. Who knows? But for now, you do have Boba Fett Daimo, if that pleases you, if you want to play more Boba Fett. Or, in this new set, we do have Jango Fett, who is also a cunning villain. You have that, you have Asajj Ventress, you have Cad Bane, so you have some options to keep that going. And I think a lot of people, as much as Jango Fett wasn't necessarily desired, I think there's going to be a lot of people shooting for Jango Fett simply because of the armor, the fire spray, so on and so forth. There's a lot of these cards out there, even though I don't think Jango can use the armor to its full potential, but there are cards like the fire spray that will get Jango Fett to where he is, and I think it should be all right. I think the Jango Fett ability is a little more fair than anything else. As I'm looking at my card right now, if I can actually find it here. Yeah, I mean, he just exhausts units, and you don't really get to ready up resources. Readying up one resource is okay. Readying up two, that's crazy. There's a lot of swing tempo there, and it's just nuts. It's just nuts to go up against. I think I had my Bosk deck, and I fought against Boba Fett a couple of times and only won like maybe twice out of the 20,000 times we played. But in any case, that is how the cookie crumbles. Soon you will have no more worries to Boba Fett, but you also have in the future more balanced units and balanced leaders such as Jango Fett, Asajj Ventress, Cad Bane. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes. Want to know you guys' thoughts and opinions? Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's talk about Boba Fett a little bit. Let's talk about the metagame currently. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you guys on the next video. Take care and have a good one. And may the Force be with you.